Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And we got an excellent connection going today. My ex wants me back 1 year later. Real breakup story unpacked. If you have a breakup story you want to share, please visit writemac.com. And if you'd like to unpack your story in a live coaching session, that's also available. Today's Corey Wayne Wednesdays, so I do have my suit on, my sport coat going. Thought I'd shake it up a little bit. We've made an attempt to spice up the live stream with some camera stuff, but we have a black screen on my... But you can hear me, Eduardo? It's gone black here, Danny. Yeah. So just push this one. Yeah. There we go. It's all part of the game, Eduardo. The game is to be sold, not to be told, as the great Snoop Dogg once said. So, or said many times in one song. My ex wants me back 1 year later. We got a story to share. We got a couple stories to share, actually. If you have a story you want to share, go to writemac.com. I said it once. I said it twice. Don't forget. Yeah, it's Corey Wayne Wednesday. We're gonna make it a Corey Wayne Wednesday, and we're gonna go sport coat for the day. What do you think about that, Rob? So, getting into it, this story that I have on deck is it's interesting because a lot of times people that send me stuff in, they usually have where they've just broken up or it's been a month and the no contact, et cetera, et cetera. But there's certainly a lot of times where people have been off and on for a year or two, or have been in contact such as this. And those are the people actually that don't send their breakup stories in because they really never broke up. It's like the whole time they've been broken up, it's been on life support. And then they hook up, they hang out, something happens, or they stay in contact. But someone always gets left holding the bag, right? Someone always gets hit with ground zero. Like, wait a minute, I thought we were always going to be an option down the road. And unfortunately, when you stay friends or when you stay connected, which I'm okay with, the consequences are they can suddenly go, yeah, I don't like this. Or worst case scenario, they meet someone when you haven't yet. And when that happens, it's a dark feeling because you think to yourself, what happened here? I thought we had an arrangement. I thought we could see each other. I thought we could support each other. I thought we were cool. You weren't supposed to go and get some other guy, even though we're broken up. So this is what the story, where the story coming goes. And like I said, I think it happens a lot more. And the individuals that are chasing their ex, they don't even know what they're doing. So let's get into it. Hey, coach, I broke up with my boyfriend over 1 year ago. Actually, he broke up with me because he said I drink too much and party too much. I'm 25 and 26 and he's 27. I do party and drink, but I'm not out of control. Says who? You? Well, that's good. I mean, no one likes their girlfriend to be a party animal or to drink a lot. It puts you in bad positions, literally. And one of the things I would say, too, is sometimes people want to complain about it. They want to get on you about it. But in the end, if that's what you do with your free time and that's what you enjoy and you don't think it's going to be a problem, then you're not going to quit that. He actually smokes a lot of weed, so I guess we are opposites. I chased him and even sometimes begged him back in the first couple months. We've been together for 7 years, so I just felt like it was not something that should just throw away. We'd see each other, but then he'd confirm he didn't want to get back together. So over time, I picked myself up and accepted it. Good for you. I met some new guys and just hung out with close friends more often, and I started to feel really good. I even realized that maybe this relationship actually had me down, and looking back, he's always down or complaining about something. That being said, we've stayed in contact and even still have some long talks. He recently lost a loved one, and so I was there for him best I could. Then he quit his job, which I thought he was proud of. He came into some money and was going to invest in crypto, but currently I believe he's pretty broke. So you got a situation here where where you're at in other areas of your life outside of the breakup count, and they're going to affect the individual and where they're at with you. So the idea that, you know, all these things are coming down on him right now, he's probably going to go back to you or lean on you. She said she believes he's pretty broke, so she's not sure. The situation now is this. Well, thanks for getting present. I still care about him and even could say I love him like family. I'm not sure if that's what he wants. But I'm sort of seeing someone else. Sort of seeing someone else or seeing someone else. And I'm really happy with myself, and I believe that's due to not being with him anymore. So the real reason I'm writing you now is that shit got messy. He's now showing up at my house unannounced and even asked to use my computer, to which I let him, thinking he needed to look something up. He saw my messages with this. Sorry, something just came up on the. He's been showing up at my home unannounced, even asked to use my computer, which I let him, thinking he needed to look something up. He saw my messages with the other guy and flipped. I explained we are not together, and now this week I had a situation where I got off work and he was waiting at my house in his car, and the other guy also waiting at my house. So I'm assuming the other guy is the person she's seeing. I don't think they actually saw each other. Well, I think there would have been some fireworks. But I was able to call my ex and tell him if he's at my house to leave, I don't want to see him. He left. So it sounds like maybe you saw this coming down the block and maybe you went around the block or something like that. You didn't really give the details of that. It's probably a good move. By the next morning at 7 a.m., he showed up at my door and the other guy was sleeping. My ex asked if someone was over, and I said yes, but it's nothing serious. Okay, so here's where the situation is interesting. You're sort of seeing someone else. The guy's sleeping at your house. That's up to you how you want to characterize that, if it's casual, friends with benefits, whatever. Bottom line is it's not his business, number one. Number two, you don't need to answer to him. Showing up at your house unannounced, is time to maybe get the law involved, because even if you've known this person for 7 years, this kind of behavior can get bad. And I would just say before it does, and it doesn't sound like you're scared of any kind of physical abuse or anything like that, but people with a broken heart and they witness seeing something like this can act crazy, but you don't need to placate to this. And I've talked to women before. It's like this kind of stuff. You might want to get out in front of it and go, look, I'm going to file a police report, and just let them know that you've showed up at my house. I don't think you'll do it because, like you said, you still love them and you care about them. But this is getting a little bit, at a point where you don't want it to get worse. And it doesn't sound like you have feelings for him in that way. And by the way, you think you're being sweet and kind by entertaining his interest, but really he needs to come down to ground zero probably and realize like it's done. And you need to realize it's done. This idea that you're sort of with someone else or you're seeing someone else, you said it feels really good right now, that you felt better, that you've realized that he's down and out. On a lot of things. He's not in a good place, certainly not a place to start a new relationship, because if it's been a year, it's a new relationship. And it sounds like he's at a place where he's desperate. That's not a place to start again. He asked if we could get back together. I told him now's not the time, and he broke up with me. So don't the tables turn. So actually, this kind of feels good in some ways. People won't admit it, but when the tables turn and someone broke up with you, and then you feel like, you broke up with me. Right? He left and even said some things that hurt me, like that I never cared about him, that I wasn't there for him when his friend passed, and so on and so on and so on. He made me feel really bad. So interactions with friends, family, or colleagues, they're not always under your control, But with an ex or something like this, when people make you feel bad, they want you to feel like they feel. And you got to think to yourself, where's my power in this situation? And this is what I would tell you. Tell him you're done. Tell him you're seeing someone else. Then tell him if he shows up at your house unannounced again, you're filing a police report. It's not appropriate. It's not okay. Right? And I would also make a couple people in your family aware of this. Right? Because this can get bad quick. I know he's in a really bad place now, but I don't want him back. Okay, so don't lead him on. Don't placate to him. How do I go about not hurting his feelings, but I also want him to know I still care about him? I would say in this particular situation, I don't know if there's a way to not hurt his feelings. He's already hurt. Right? He's already hurt. So that's you're not gonna be able to avoid hurting his feelings. There's no soft landing here. And if it's been a year and he's still circling the waters, this is the reality check when you stay in contact with your ex for so long, is at some point you're going to come over to their house and in the morning there's a guy sleeping in her bed and she goes, oh, it's not too serious, sorry. And you're like, oh, do you want to get breakfast and talk about it? No, I really don't. No, I really don't. Right? That was Danny. He just fell here. So, next question was, and recently him showing up at the house scares me a bit. What's your take, Coach? I'm one of those, I've told people this before, you don't answer to being scared. So I would immediately tell you to maybe not a restraining order, but file a report so someone knows, make some people in your family aware, and tell them it's, tell them real talk. You're happy without him. That would actually hurt his feelings. Maybe that's a little too heavy, but you need to be real with him. You need to cut off contact. You need to block each other. And you need to be, if you really care about him, letting him have an ounce of hope isn't the best thing. It really isn't. And even if you entertain this relationship out of pity, you're going to break up again. And you already said he's broke. He's out of a job. He's got some things he's going through right now. He's got to do that on his own at 27 years old. And it sucks. I've been there. I've had bad moments with my job, with money, with personal life. But I'll tell you what, it's not a very good time to have a functional, healthy relationship. And it sounds like this guy's throwing stones in the meantime. And this is what's dangerous about people like this. They go, oh, my life's so fucked up, so let me see if I can fuck yours up. And you don't even know what's going on. And they don't know what's going on. This is the amazing thing about a lot of people. They believe they're just going through life unconsciously acting out. And until they get therapy or a little background on psychology and stuff, right? They have no idea. If you videotaped them, they'd be like, wow, I didn't know I was such an idiot. It's like you show up at your ex-girlfriend of a year ago's house. She's got another dude in the bedroom. And you want to get back together? Whoa, right? I mean, I understand your feelings are entangled and everything like that. That's pretty tough, dude. That's pretty tough. That's a pretty tough one, right? And you don't want to create more of those situations where you come home and there's two guys waiting at your house. You got to be strong about this. All right, so yeah, this can't go anywhere, says Rob. He's demonstrating bad decision-making and has no clue how to conduct himself with an ex. No social acuity at all here. Any opinion? We got the great B on live. What do you think?
Guys? Yeah, rip that Band-Aid off, like, just clean. That's what I would say.
For the boyfriend?
For the boy, yeah, just let him know, like, hey, like you said, it might be a little harsh to say, hey, I'm happier without you, but that's the reality of it. And if he's acting out like this, man, like, that's really close to, like you said, calling the cops and, being in that situation. Mm-hmm. So you got to be upfront and be like, hey, this is a little too much, man. Mm-hmm. I'm happy. I'm moving on, and it's been a year, so it's been long enough. And just because things aren't going great in your life, you know, it doesn't mean you can just come back and get what you had before and try to, you know, do those things again. So, yeah, it's a tough one.
Rip the Band-Aid
Yeah,
off.
just rip it off clean.
And what do you think? Do you think she should go to the police?
I don't think it's there yet. It's close, though. You know, just like randomly showing up and doing all those things. It's close for sure.
Mm-hmm. My thing is I've had a couple clients that are the guy in this situation. That you know, keeps showing up to the house and I'll tell the guy, stop, like just stop this, and I'll use some harsh language like you're being extremely weak.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, what? You know, like I just want to tell him, I just want to like how much I love her, and then I go, notice how you keep using the word I.
Yep.
This is all about what you want. This is all about what you want. This is all about you. And you think because you're so in love, she has to be the same. But the reality is, in this particular case, you broke up with her. There's been a breakup in the progress, and you can't just keep knocking on the door, man. No. Like I said, let alone someone else is sleeping in the bed, you know? That's basically just, you're hurting yourself, man.
I mean, things weren't going great in this guy's life, and he's just searching.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the hardest breakups, people don't ask this often. Everyone wants to know, oh, how do you get your ex back? Does no contact work? All this other shit. I can talk to you about that in a live coaching session if I see your story. I can give you advice, right? But one of the things that people don't look at is the hardest breakups are where you are as an individual. You got to look in the mirror and you're like, what do I have outside of this person? And if you're not happy with that, that's tough. Or the blindsided breakup. You didn't see it coming. Those are the two that are really hard.
That rug was just pulled
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Now, this other case here where someone goes, oh, we've been broken up a year, 2 years, we've been in contact. I had a client maybe 6 or 7 months ago. He was married and they had a kid. They divorced, but they stayed close because they had a kid together.
Yeah.
And really good dude, right? And the way he broke it down, he knew it was up. He was a secure guy, had a good job. He had a lot going for him, but the situation became really comfortable. So he actually lived down the street.
Oh, wow.
And they lived in a major city in the States.
Yeah.
They lived in Philly, I believe, Philadelphia. So they lived like in a major city. And so like it was great. Like they do birthdays and stuff like that. And he said basically he kind of knew she always had still feelings for him in those 2 years. Like I think it was like 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. But she never got a boyfriend.
Right.
And he said, like, honestly, I haven't really, he's like, I've had a few things go, but nothing big, right? And he goes, I just like to party with my buddies sometimes and things like that. And then she got a boyfriend, and he lost it.
Became real.
Yeah, he just lost it.
Yeah.
He was like, this was my wife, this is mother of my, like, and he was like, I could, like 6 months ago, there was a chance, and I kind of just put it to this, because he thought it was just always be that way.
It wasn't on his terms.
Yep, it wasn't on his terms. So there's some danger in staying in contact like that because it's not ideal for the ex to be sitting in the and they get sick of it and they actually grow contempt. So
Yeah.
we got Big Red Apple, who I haven't seen on before. Interesting name. Weak-minded definitely shows neediness and lack of self-worth. Even if he miraculously gets back with the ex-girlfriend who is now having intimacy with a new guy, it won't work. He has not showcased that he has changed, and that said, history will repeat itself. It's done. Well, I mean, actually, I've seen a few times where, like, guys will get back their exes that have been in relationships, but then you're right, Rob, eventually they'll break up again. And personally, I think they have trouble ever trusting that person again, even if they were broken up during the time that person was with someone, unless it was something they didn't get a lot of details on. And certain individuals are able to rotate out of things better than others, right? But for the most part, I would agree. When a guy doesn't act in the time-tested methods of re-attraction 99.9% of the time, then it never works out. I've just been through a breakup, made mistakes, but I initiated it because something wasn't right, wanted her back for wrong reasons. No contact is to get you back. I had to move out. Sometimes you put them on a pedestal and really it's just a fantasy. Good point, Red Apple.
Absolutely.
I definitely, the way you broke that down, Big Red Apple, maybe I'll call you BRA. Brah. Initiating a breakup and then wanting someone back is actually more common than people think. And what people don't see is that I see both sides of the breakups. And the amount of people that think that their ex doesn't miss them, is never going to call them again, they don't care about them, they don't think about me anymore. Man, both sides hurt. If there was love there,
for sure,
and there's no contact, both sides are wondering in different ways. Now, there's some individuals that turn it into anger, some turn it into pity, some turn it into this. Regardless, it's not easy to be shut down by someone that you cared about or loved or anything like that. So it's not easy on either end. But with what Big Red Apple says is true, that sometimes it's a fantasy with. BRA stands for Business Requirement Analysis. Wow, that's a big word. Bruh. Okay, one more story here on deck. Let me just make sure the stream's right because it keeps coming up with this good to warning thing. All right, folks. Hello. Thanks in advance for reading this story, Coach. I like your approach to breakup, so please unpack this one with care. This story is actually not a full-on breakup, but I'm thinking about it, and we've recently not talked for 2 days. Very good time to contact me when you're on the brink of a breakup. We've been together for over 2 years, been seeing each other for 6 months prior to being official. I'm 34 and he's 32. I love him a lot, but I can't take the jealousy and accusations of cheating. He had a really bad relationship where he caught his ex cheating, literally in their bed. Can't imagine that. I'm not sure if she could see if he could see a therapist or what, but he's not over it, and it happened 5 years ago. I've been in 2 serious relationships prior to this one. I've never cheated. I flirt a lot. Well, thanks for being honest. But it's harmless in my eyes, as I never act on it. I've said this again and again. Flirting's an opinion, right? What's flirting to one person might not be flirting to another. Harmless flirting to one person might not be harmless to another. Disrespectful flirting might be different for different people. So I don't know if you could put it all under the same umbrella. It's kind of a broad thing, right? That being said, I do believe that women are attracted to men that attract other women. So a guy that's a good flirt, I think sometimes is attractive to women, even if they might complain about it. But on the opposite end, if your girlfriend's flirty, it's not attractive. I don't think guys are like, oh yeah, I want to fight for her. I don't think it's as cool. Unless you framed it like, oh, she's got a great personality. She's really outgoing. Right? Charming. Yeah, charming would be different. But that's how words get used differently. Talking to different people, some people will use extreme language or words. And so, I'm a very outgoing person myself. So I've been accused of flirting a little bit. But if you're with someone that's their personality, you got to deal with it and know who you're with. I've been a waitress and bartender for years, so it goes with the job. Yeah, I would say being flirtatious might go with being a bartender at times. I've had a few clients that are dating or their exes are bartenders, and they always are players or have, stuff going on. So that being said, I can turn it off and on when I want to. I believe that. I think there's some people out there that could be part of the job, being friendly and flirtatious, and then they could turn it off. I think that's true. Some people say, oh, no, that's not true. I think you could. This last year I've been out of my job from the pandemic, so I've been cooped up with the boyfriend, and we just got sick of each other, and he really looks for ways that I may have cheated. And his newest one is he found me to be an emotional cheater, which actually had to look up to understand. Have you heard of that one, B?
No, I have not.
Emotional cheating?
Emotional cheating, I have not.
This is one of those ones, like, you can go down the rabbit hole of, you know, the internet will tell you what it is.
Sure.
Right? The internet now has officially become like, do you really want to know what this person is? And then you can find a label such as emotional cheating, which basically I think at the extreme level would be texting, you know, doing something beyond flirting, or interacting with someone you have feelings for while you're in a monogamous relationship. So you're with someone, you're attracted to someone at work,
right?
And
you're texting with them.
You're texting
chatting,
with them.
Whatever.
But I would say, like, how can that get bent from I work with that person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would be, because my point has been, whenever I hear emotional cheating, I kind of cringe, because I think that even if you're in a relationship, you love your girlfriend, you love your boyfriend, husband, wife, etc., your partner. I mean, if you work somewhere, or if you have, you know, I don't know, you go golfing, B, or something, you know, like you go out, you go somewhere, you're gonna be attracted to other people.
Sure. You're gonna be interacting with the.
Hold on, don't emotionally cheat, right? I mean, to be aware of that, right? But I mean, you gotta create your own limits to that.
Sure.
So I would say, when emotional cheating is at its worst, or when it becomes a problem, would be when someone says, when you catch someone interacting with someone through text, and it seems flirty, or like they like each other, and then the person says, well, we didn't do anything, right? Which makes you feel better, but that's emotional cheating at its probably at its worst. Whereas to me, at its meekest point would be like, you don't have the ability to be close to other people.
Right.
So, which I actually had to look up to understand. I guess you could say that, but I think a lot of people emotionally cheat. Again, what's your definition of emotionally cheating, and what's okay and what's not okay? I mean, if you think about it, emotionally cheating would be like a subcategory of cheating that's like, there's class A, there's class A and double A ball.
Well, this guy has, you know, trust issues, so his definition is definitely different. Yeah,
and the thing is, if your girlfriend's a waitress and a bartender, and she's good looking, and she's got a charming or flirtatious personality, and you knew that going in, it's probably not going to happen. She's not going to change that way, and that's probably one of the things you liked about her. Again, I haven't cheated at all. I don't give my number out or social media to randoms at work. Well, that's kind of you in a good relationship. So the reason we haven't talked for 2 days is the last few months I've been back at work, which has been great. I needed the money, and I missed the social part of work. Well, of course, my boyfriend now works from home mostly, and I don't think it's best thing for him. He's not getting any social interaction outside of me and the cat. I've been coming home feeling good, and he's just a drag of low energy. A few days ago, I came from work and mentioned a new male coworker whom I thought was a funny guy. Oh, I'm sure the jealous boyfriend would love that. Sure. I explained a funny interaction we had, and my boyfriend went ballistic, claiming he knows what I'm up to. I just walked out of the room. We haven't spoken for 2 days, and this time I won't apologize. I'm feeling like it's time to move on. Financially, I can't just move on right now, but I really want to. So you see, this is one of those things where someone goes, oh, why didn't you just leave then? Or I checked out months ago. See, this is when you have relationships and you live together, someone might go, oh, she just cares about the money. No, it's real. It's like, if finances are real, you're 34 and 32. I'm sorry, the previous one was, you're in your 30s. Some people are just making ends meet. And I think a lot of people, once you live together, you can't just sort out a place to live. I've had other clients like this. Like if they had the money, they'd be like, see ya. but they won't want to say that.
Just
Right.
life is, is in the way.
Right, but I
sometimes.
mean, once you live together too, it's like
Yeah.
you're sharing some bills, some responsibilities. So, what I would say at this point, I guess you get your piggy bank, start throwing your tips in there. But she's obviously probably not going to say anything until she gets the money ready.
Right.
But this guy's, digging his own breakup grave here.
Yeah.
Literally.
He's not making it easy.
No, and he doesn't even. This is the thing. He has no clue. And people like this that have a jealousy issue, they dig. They dig and they dig and they filter for anything that you did that could be cheating. And then they just investigate and accuse. And I personally, I can't relate. I've never been this kind of person. I never experienced it with my parents' relationship. And so when people get extremely jealous, like my serious relationships never had it. I've had, some jealousy, but not where someone's just accusing you of shit all the time. And if you're going to be a flirtatious waitress or bartender, yeah, no, it's oil and water. I feel like I can never overcome this issue with my ex, and at this point, it's a major turnoff. Do you think there is a way he'll change? Do you believe I'm overreacting? That's actually a really good question. Probably the only way he'll change is by a crisis. Anytime someone has a thing that they regularly do, they do it for a reason. And obviously, you identified that he had a bad breakup before where he caught someone in bed with his girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure what it was. And so he's just trying to get out in front of that every time now. I don't know what happened in his childhood. Maybe something with his parents cheating or something like that. But unless he probably goes to a therapist, coach, hypnotherapy, something like that, and really gets to the bottom of it, or feels like it's a problem. Because right now, he's convinced that you're an emotional cheater and you screw around on him. He's got that in his head. And you, on the other hand, are like, look, I'm no angel. Like, I think what you're saying is like, I'm no,
I flirt.
Yeah. I'm no angel. I'm no saint. I might have done some emotional cheating before, but I never go all the way, kind of a thing. So,
with him feeling this way, and her being a waitress and a bartender, that's hard,
Well, it's beyond. Well, I mean, it's not going to work.
No, I know.
No,
That's
it's not going to
hard.
work. I think that if he is going to change, then it probably would come after you breaking up with him, because then he's going to go, wow, maybe I was overreacting. Maybe
Now I realize, yeah.
Right? And sometimes people think jealousy is just insecurity. Sometimes it can be deeper. It can be more specific. Like I said, with this particular case, he thinks it's going to happen to him again.
Yeah, like you said, he's trying to get out in front a bit. Yeah.
But on the flip side, what you're not realizing or she's not realizing is now she's filtering for him for him complaining all the time. So even if he does change, it'll be suspicious to you. You'll be like, wow, this is weird. This is not how he normally acts.
Right.
Do you believe I'm overreacting? No.
Not at all.
If you're not happy, you're not happy. No one likes to plead their case when they feel like they didn't do something wrong. That's probably one of the worst things is someone goes, I can't win. I'm telling you the truth. You don't believe me. I don't believe I did something wrong. I always tell people, don't say sorry if you don't think you did something wrong. And if you do, apologize once and mean it. Don't do it many times. What's your take? I think I just gave it to you. Let's just talk to the live stream real quick here and just check in. If you're texting someone else, it's over. They shouldn't even contemplate it. Your thoughts are not that with that person who you're supposed to be with. I think that's tough right now.
Depends on what you're texting, like you said, if you have colleagues and whatever. I don't know.
I mean, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue in the future because texting is passive communication. I think that people that are becoming phone addicts, which is not really talked about, but it's a world epidemic. I think me and you have talked about this before, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. And there's people that, like, when I say you're a phone addict, I think you know what I mean. But you could say, oh, you mean social media? You mean this? No, I mean phone. I mean the phone. I mean, because sometimes you're not looking at social media. You could be looking up stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
My father is in his early 70s, 74, 75. I don't even know. Let's just say early 70s, right? And I thought, my dad, when I grew up, he's old school. He read the newspaper every day, 2 newspapers. And he went through the whole newspaper, right? I thought, wow, he has a tablet now. You know, like a tablet, so it's not the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks at that thing for hours.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? My mom's caught him on like porn sites too, and he's in his 70s, right? And he's got like like hard of hearing and stuff, so like he'll throw it on.
Yeah.
But he's addicted to the it's not just the different generations, right? It's just so where I'm going with this is I think that the stimulation on the phone leads to more people going, how can someone tune into one person so well anymore? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's hard because you think about what we look for now on the phone. A lot of it's shorter stuff, right?
Attention span,
A lot of it's shorter stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the answer to how you get out of this, but I'm telling you right now, I come across this all the time in breakups where someone's talking to someone else on the phone. I don't blame you for being upset. You have to decide what's the line for you. Mm-hmm. People always are like, "Oh, I would never." Have you experienced it before? If you're with someone, you're really serious. I think that people act tougher than they would be if it was on them.
Sure.
And there is the ability to forgive on these kinds of things. And there is ability for someone to say, "Yeah, no, I'm not into that anymore." But this is gonna be a part of the future. I think this is
100%. It's gonna get
right.
If worse for sure.
Right. If someone has Instagram or one of these things now, and they post anything that's provocative or cute, the DM messages and stuff that come in, right?
Yeah. They get bombarded with stuff.
Right. And so you. I don't know the answer for people, but there's going to be a lot of people texting more often than not, and you're going to have to decide what your rules are. Mm-hmm. But most tiny circle pics can't really see on the internet. I don't know what that means.
Tiny circle pics.
Big Red Apple says porn. Haha, good lad. He's only human. Mm-hmm. They can tune in if they are your partner. Any other guy they're texting without you knowing. Is a monkey branching. LinderTube says, "Oh shoot, does he know how to delete his history after viewing sites with cookies?" Man, when I go back to California, I'm gonna bring my dad on. He's hilarious. What? Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Tablet. Oh, could be worse. He could be on the dark web. No, I don't think he's on that.
Nah.
I don't think
that's a little bit too sophisticated.
LinderTube says she's done with them. Negative associations, low vibrations, bad feelings. What's up, MC? To me, what's a small part of this story, but a big part is when she went financially. I can't move out right now, but I really want to. Right, that's an underlying thing. When someone goes, "Oh, why would someone stay?" Sometimes that's the reason. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's the reason.
Your back's against the wall, and
like you're like, I don't really have another option here right now. So, and everyone from the outside is like, "Oh yeah, I would just move out." It's like it's not that easy.
Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do?
Derek D likes that when he says, teach him silent mode in incognito.
Yeah.
This texting business for me shouldn't be happening. She's not fully invested. Dark web is not easy to get on, I believe. I've never even went on the dark web. I don't even know.
No, you need to do some things to get on the dark web.
I don't even want to talk about it. I feel like I'm gonna get assassinated or something. I don't even want to go into that.
Don't even go in
there. Yeah, no. Oh, Mac hasn't showed up for a live stream in a long time.
He was on the dark web.
Yeah. I had to get out. I had to move in with my boy and his girlfriend. Well, I mean,
if there are, I mean, if it is an extreme,
I will say this. When you really want to do something, you get
you
creative.
can find a way.
Yeah,
for sure.
you get creative. I had a client, it was a couple years back, I've mentioned this before, and she had a really bad situation she was in.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. She was in Ireland, actually, and she was from, I think Poland. I forgot what it was. I won't go into the whole story, but the guy was a bad guy. They had a kid together. She felt trapped. He was bad. I never even shared the story. It was so bad, like on a public video. But she felt like she had nowhere to go, and then I just broke down, like, do you have any friends? You know, do you have any of this? And she, well, there's one friend, but I was like, well, reach out to them. Give them the privilege of being able to help you. And she ended up reaching out to that person. She's doing really well right now. She got away. And yeah, like if you really want to do something, you can get creative, resourceful, and actually surprise yourself.
Sure.
But I had another client. It was like one of my first clients years back. He was from Austria. And no, he lived in Austria. He was originally from Australia. And one of his side stories, he was in a new breakup, but he told me, I was homeless on the streets for 3 years in Austria. I'm like, really? And this guy was like, you wouldn't think it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
very confident, really cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from a breakup.
Wow.
Yeah. He said he injured his back. He had to move out of this toxic relationship, and he ended up on the streets for a couple of years.
Wow.
So he went all in on the breakup,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, wow.
You know? Said he lived in some gymnasium somewhere, and he was laughing about it. But I'm like, damn, man, that's pretty deep.
It's rough. Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
Mm.
So we're at 41 minutes here. He wants me back 1 year later. Has anyone on the live stream had that happen before, where you broke up and 1 year later someone comes back, or 2 years later someone comes out?
Mm.
I'm sorry. If it's ended you got to get out, and it's only going to get worse. When I look back, hindsight is wonderful. I would have done things different, but it's too late. Got my own place now. Oh, shit. I would have done a lot of things differently.
Hindsight.
But actually, here's the thing, and I've told people this before. Everyone thinks if I would have done things differently, it would have been great and grand. But actually, that one thing that you would have done differently might have led to something that was bad.
You just can't see right now.
It's all a sequence of events.
Sure.
It's not like one event does not change your life.
Mm-hmm.
One event changes a moment or two, changes a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wins the lottery, you think, wow, this person's life really changed. But guess what? There's a lot of people that run out of money.
I think they did a study, or most people like burn through that money.
Right, or
you
get used by family members,
that's
get
what it is.
hated.
That's
Like they get a taste of it. It's like, look at the ball players out there that say like, oh man, I just get hit up for money all the time.
All the time.
So it's not as great and grand as you think sometimes. So you just think, now me personally, if I won the lottery, I'd be a generous, kind soul. So please do it for me, God. Right? Like, go ahead and throw me that bone, and I'll tell you what, I'll make it worth it for the world. Give me about 10 million. No problem. I'll be generous. Brand new Skinner's on deck. Do you got a story you want to share, my friend? I finished a girl 8 years ago, and on and off 4 times over 3 months. Got her back 4 years ago, lived with her, then split up. Wow. How'd you get her back? Makeup to breakup. Makeup to breakup. I think that there should be like plaques given out for 20 years now, or 25 years, right? It's like a world plaque.
Yeah.
Right? You're being internationally recognized in the 21st century for a 20-year
for your relationship
20-year
service.
marriage. Congratulations. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's 2021 now. If someone was married in 2000, it's 21 years, right? It's a pretty long time.
That's a pretty
man.
long time.
Yeah. It's like it's impressive. Big Red Apple says I texted her through Facebook. Well, there you go. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, this it's totally that's why I think a lot of our past books and ideas of how to handle things are kind of passe right now.
They're changed. They're changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are doing a lot of complaining about it rather than trying to figure out alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear about this one, B? This will be an interesting topic to sidestep into. I have a concept that I thought about for writing a book
Mm-hmm.
called the 4-year sex contract.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an alternative to marriage.
Okay.
So, first of all, 4 years. We have 4 years of college, 4 years of high school. I don't know why it's a number that we use a lot, but we use it a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a common.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying, like, what if you, like, instead of, like, getting married and having a prenup,
Right.
why don't you have a 4-year contract where you write terms?
Right. Lay it all out there.
Yeah. And some people are like, oh, that will never work. Why?
Why?
Why would that never work?
Mm-hmm.
Brand new Skinner. It's Corey Wayne Wednesdays. So this will be the suit will be on for Wednesday.
Looking sharp.
Yeah, sure. I had to get my shoulders up. But yeah, if you laid out terms for 4 years, do you think that would go? I think actually some modern couples would do it.
I think in today's day and age, I think yes.
It wouldn't be for everyone.
It would not. It would not be. For
But if I wrote a book on it, there could be a little cult that goes, I got an
Yeah.
alternative.
Yeah.
And then and then you have like a website where you could download the contract.
Right. Well, now you're talking to like the younger generation for sure.
Yeah, and fingerprint them.
Yeah. So it's
Right, so someone can't
Absolutely.
go, oh, you know, she cheated on me or they emotionally cheated or they were with someone else and I can't move out. And you're like, let me pull out the 4-year contract.
it's in the contract.
So it says here in year 2, if there's any remnants of you texting anyone, and I've pulled up some, because you know what happens? This is what you guys don't realize, right? Is when you complain about your breakup and stuff, like the shit that goes wrong in breakups that's morally wrong, there's no breakup police.
Mm-mm.
No one's going to jail for cheating.
No.
But if you had a contract, right? There's actually some countries, if you can prove it, I think it's true here in Thailand, I could be wrong. If you can prove someone cheated on when you married, then they lose.
Right.
I don't know if that's true here or not, but I've heard it before. But so when people get this evidence, right, they're like, okay, now I have something. But what would you put in your 4-year contract? You just got a big smile. He's like, I know what you'd put first, right? Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
What do I really want to secure? What do I really want to make sure stays consistent in the marriage?
I'd have to think about that.
Derek D says, I actually have a contract for one night stands
Like one just planned
or
out.
friends
yeah.
with benefits. What's the contract? And do you get a signature on that or what? Like I said, you can get really creative with this and just thumbprint it online.
Yeah.
Just go here, put your thumb here.
No need for signature. Just yeah.
Okay, Skinner always comes up with scenarios that are interesting. Let me check this one. I ended at Christmas as stated, but now I want her back. But for wrong reasons, it's insane. Even though I brought more to the table and wasn't right, it wasn't right. It's insane how the mind works. Well, maybe you should do some meditation, some yoga, do a couple retreats.
Yeah.
Get your mind straight, man. Mac, let's say one of your past exes came back into the picture. So this is Skinner. I'm assuming you're talking about yourself, but you're going to put me in the seat, which is fine.
Okay, past ex. All right.
Mac, let's say one of your past exes came back into the picture, and you knew they were still interested, but you're like a month into a breakup with a new ex. Would you be open to that past ex? Well, I mean, if I was still attracted to her, if I still have feelings for her, sure. I wouldn't. See, this is the thing when people come up with like rules. Rules and I would never do that. Like, what's the scenario? What's she look like right now?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How's she doing in her life? I would never put up a roadblock on that.
Maybe take it slowly, and not kind of like jump back into the things
I
you're
would-
doing. I don't know.
I would definitely go on a discovery mission as far as a date or
yeah,
dinner,
exactly.
or I would entertain it.
Start slow, go slowly dating.
You're saying I'm 1 month out of one breakup. and then this other past ex that's
From a while,
interested.
right.
The question is, are you interested in them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you get excited about it? And
Sure.
then are the, you know, if the ex from before is just a poisonous snake, then no. But if it's someone that you're like, wow, we've had some time away. One of the issues is she really let herself go. She gained a bunch of weight.
And you see she changed or whatever.
Yeah, and now you're like, wow, she's a gym rat.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, it depends on the scenario. I would need to know more, but I definitely wouldn't just go, oh, hell no. You never get back with an ex. I would entertain it. But if you're still interested in the one of 1 month ago, I'll tell you this, it feels good to get attention when you're post-breakup. So, Linder Tubes, because being rigid and predictability is a turnoff. It's Tuesday night, time to make a whoopee. Oh, it's funny. One of my other stories,
Didn't we just talk about that?
Whoopee?
No, I mean like a set time to like Tuesdays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the scheduled
we just talked
scheduled
about that,
intimacy.
Yeah.
It's all geared up for women. If you live with a girl and have kids, then it's ends, boys. Is the guy in deep trouble? Where do you live in the world, Big Red Apple? May I ask? Interested to see your take. Something Sheldon would do from Big Bang Theory. Contracts for everything. Do you watch that show, B?
I have, yeah. I have.
Okay. Trying meditation. Thanks. How about this one, Big Red Apple? Find your purpose. This is one of the biggest ones,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Make your bed.
Is that Jordan Peterson?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
Starts with there, yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I'm laughing, but I went through a good 2-3 years where I did a lot of self-improvement books, and they're good. They're good. They have a shelf life, and then you kind of get to the point where they go over the same things in different ways, and then you got to start going like, what am I actually doing?
Yeah.
But meditation's one that always comes up. But my thing is, you can get meditation from more things than sitting.
Working out.
Yeah, you can get it from hiking. You can
Yeah.
get it from walking on the
Sure.
beach. So, yes, I get a signature. Stipulate that it's agreed, consensual, intimacy under no pressure. I don't get me too. Really, Derek? Are you dead serious? Or are you joking around? I'm curious. I've always liked the way you phrase it, discovery mission. I mean, that's how you got to go into it, right? If she reached out and she still has feelings, you're obviously interested because you're entertaining it. So, to me, just don't get caught up in too much too quick. I would never get back with the ex. I'd actually get back with that. I pretend I wouldn't. That's confusing.
Never say never, though.
I would say never. Yeah, never's a strong word, and it kind of like messes with you psychologically. People like to do this too. They like to go, oh yeah, this will never happen. That'll never happen. You going back and entertaining a discovery mission with your ex, and she's interested. Why not? Unless the person, like for example, I had another client live coaching a couple years back, but they've talked to me multiple times since. And he had like a 5-year relationship, and he's like, she was a bad drinker, but he dealt with it. But he dealt with it like he knew what it was, right?
Yeah.
And he had a daughter from a prior relationship, and this dude was responsible. He's like early 30s, had a good job, had a good way about him. Then they broke up finally, and he met a new girl that he was like really happy with, and they were together 2 years, and he proposed to her. And then his ex came back into the picture and wooed him away.
Oh, wow.
And he broke it off with the fiance because the ex came back.
Right.
And I was like, let me ask you this. Are you highly attracted to your ex and you have good intimacy? He goes, bingo. Yeah, that's what it is. She knows how to push my buttons. I'm like, it's not your buttons, dude. Right? It's like, that's usually what it is. And then he got seduced. And he knew it. And then she was back at the house drinking, and she didn't work. She's just a bad news bear.
Right.
But when he realized it later on, He went back to the fiance. He went back. Then he was single again for a little while because he was kind of catching himself. Then that one came back again like 8 months later, and she had already been with another guy in his place. That was rich, and she was bragging about how this guy took care of her.
Okay.
And it was like he couldn't get over the the attraction and the intimacy. He knew it too. He knew it,
and he just kept getting caught up.
But it wasn't a long-term type partner, right?
Right.
How's the weather in Phuket currently?
A little rainy today.
A little rainy today. Yeah, it's a little rainy out, but I would say warm to hot. I don't know, high 80s.
Doesn't usually change too much.
Yeah, we don't. Our weather doesn't change here. It's flip flops daily. I live in the UK. Find your purpose exactly. Ha ha ha. Move. A Mac exclusive. Move. Change your environment.
Yeah.
If I had to tell you one thing, I would say, Linda, too, you watch some of my stuff. Yeah, I would say that if you can.
It's not always easy, right?
No. And I'm not saying it's for everyone. If you got kids, then I would say you do everything in your power to make it work. That's the time that you should both find a way.
Sure.
And I think that's where you can find something that's bigger than you. That's different, right? That's different because it's like when you break up and you really want something back, you're like, I want this, I want that. You did this to me. I did that to you. You did this to me. It's like you got a kid. It's like we need to make this work for our kid.
Even then, sometimes it is better that you're separate. You just
sure.
Each case is different, but yeah, I mean that's
you should be putting more. You should be putting an effort into seeing if you can make it work.
Right. Absolutely.
If there's something that went down, how can you get through it? If you can't,
then
I get it. I get it.
But like you said, putting in the effort.
Yeah, and then you don't have any regrets. You're like, I put some effort in. Yeah,
we definitely tried. So
the finding purpose is a thing most will be on their deathbed and realize they had none. Damn, that's deep, Rob.
That's deep.
A discovery mission. Yeah, say. I'm dead serious. A woman scorned is a deadly woman. Double D says he's serious about that. He gets that signed. God hates that guy almost as much as me. I don't know what that's in regards to. Maybe I said something in it before and you said it. Is B in your age range? I like that. Over time, there's been additional voices. What are you, 35?
35.
35. Sick of it all.
Yeah, pretty close to your age.
35. Then, wow, I would take 35 over 40, but not without my wisdom in between those 5 years. In my experience, the really vindictive ones have been younger, Rob. You shouldn't stay together just for the kids if it's not work. No, I don't. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you stay together just for the kids. I'm saying you should make the utmost effort.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you've done it or the other person hasn't met you halfway on the bridge, then fine.
Like a real effort.
Right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be just emotionally reacting to things where you're just like, you know what? You broke my code.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that simple.
Right. But if you're still fighting all the time,
yeah.
the kids see, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It might be better to be separate. So.
Yeah. If it's not working after you tried, then it's better that if you be civil and go your separate ways. I would agree with that. Wow. This guy has got a real contract for Friends with Benefits.
I mean, I've heard it.
You've heard of that?
Yeah, definitely. And especially with, the younger generation now in today's day and age, for sure.
There's that... Derek, let me just ask you this. Wow, I'd like you to call in on this. I don't have the Skype set up.
This isn't the first time I've heard this, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, no, I've definitely heard it.
Derek D, is there like an app that you pull up for that? Or do you actually make up your own contract? Wish I made it while you told the story as I was waiting on the live to start and dozed off.
Because, especially with the Me Too stuff, that's been going on the last
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I think that's what kicked it all off.
I mean, like if I was one of these athletes or something, or these superstars, or,
absolutely then.
Some guy with his own famous podcast.
Well, I mean, if you're hooking up with a lot of, chicks that...
Right.
You don't. I
mean,
what
you think you do. You just. This sounds bad, but like you just have cameras all over your house.
Yeah. Just then you have it
it's
straight.
It's like, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
This is what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can put all your preferences on your dating profiles. Isn't that enough?
But I mean, if you're traveling a lot, or like you said, if you're, you know, like an athlete or something that's in different cities,
It's not a
all the
good
time.
position to be in these days, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a good position to be in, man. Did you ever hear that story from, you probably don't know this one, but it's in the Rational Mail that the NBA gave out a, I don't know if it was like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Skinner knows this story. And they told the players that when they get done to tie up the condoms and flush them down the toilet.
Yeah.
Did I tell you this
I think
before?
I've heard rappers doing this.
Yeah, and they said because women were coming back saying they were pregnant, taking it
Right,
out of the
taking
garbage.
yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
I'll tell you what, I won't want my kid being in the garbage early on.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, part of me isn't surprised because I suppose that, you know, man, it's money, right?
It's money.
It's money, right? And the funny thing is, he's like, what you don't realize too is, you know, some people that like, they just look at it like that's all it's all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've had no money for so long.
Right.
Wish I made it while you were told the stories. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my place here. Women want this high value guy who can't have. Guys pump and dump because they can and committed is hard. Everyone meets your match. I'll tell you that right now, dude. You can be the biggest player in the world, the biggest pump and dumper, or playus. You're gonna meet your match. So when I say that, I don't mean soulmate. I mean someone that you go, wow.
This person actually.
Yeah, like
me.
I've been. Yeah. This is like this. Yeah, this is the one, or this is the one I have feelings for. Matt, can you imagine getting married and having kids at your age? Sure. But I'm gonna enjoy the search.
Absolutely.
It's been a long track up that mountain. But I'm not anti-marriage or anti-kids. I've noticed like Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper, and Aaron Clary, who actually he has a channel called The Asshole Consultant. It's pretty good. And there's another guy, they've been doing these like 4-way talks.
Yeah, I think I've seen.
Yeah. And God, they just go on these rants about the hopelessness, I would call it, of women. They basically talk about all women, but they're talking about America. And they just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I'm thinking, so what's the answer, guys? What is this, right? Like, is everyone just supposed to give up hope if they're not a millionaire? I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, what's the alternative? Why are you complaining about these things so much? Like, and these numbers that people come up with, I don't know if they're as accurate as, you know.
Yeah, where are they coming?
They'll just drop. This is a thing on the internet, like, you know, that 20% of such and such, and 30%, like, there's nothing like a study or research, but it'll just vaguely go over. And I'm not saying that it's not like someone like Rollo Tomasi. I think he's an academic. He's got a master's degree, I believe. You know, he's written books. I think he's got sources on this. I know he's got sources on it, but still,
even then,
it doesn't mean that it's true about everyone. I think that this research that's done, what people lose is different cities and areas have different stuff going on in them. And so when you just make one of these blanket statements,
like how long ago was this being,
studied, it's like I
where?
think Rich Cooper's in Toronto, which is like San Francisco, like a really liberal city. Mm-hmm. And so I've heard people complain about some dynamics there, which I don't know are true or not true. I haven't been there. But it's like, fucking move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. It's like, oh, I'm a masculine guy. I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm just going to spend 45 minutes complaining about the dynamics right now. Right? It's like, move. Mac, were you talking about Kevin Samuels a few streams ago about his approach when talking about the percentage of guys that have sex? What I was saying is that, something in that regards. I don't remember exactly what it was. Derek D says Rollo post his links. I believe it, Derek D. I'm not decrediting Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper, or any of those guys. I actually like them. And I agree with what they say. Mm-hmm. It's almost like what's happened. I'm not going to go into this because I'm not big on it, right? I don't even live in the promised land, America, right? But like people when they get in these politics rants, there's no answer involved. It's this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is stupid, this is bad, this is bad. I don't know the answer. This is bad, this is wrong, this is wrong. It's like, what are you gonna do? I wouldn't be scared to say his name. It was about the Brand New Skinner. It was about the Fresh and Fit podcast that comes up on I've watched a couple of them, but the guy from Fresh and Fit mentions it multiple times that he believes only 15 to 20% of men are sexually active. 15 to 20%. And he brings it up all the time. Like I shouldn't say all the time. Excuse me. Now I'm generalizing. Excuse me. Numerous times he's brought it. Excuse me. Get the generalization police on the mic. But to me, it's like, where do you get that from? And what does that mean to be active or not to be? Like, how many? Like, who's being honest about that? By the way, I don't know. If you in that research, is that everyone in America? Is that everyone in the world? I just find that like, I don't know, but I've heard him mention it more than once and he brings it up. How many guys do you think are actually like? That's how he brings it up. How many guys do you think are actually sexually active? Tell me what you think. And he like sets it up, and then someone's like, I don't know, 15 to 20% right now. That's the only amount. I'm like.
And define sexually active, like what is it?
And within what city?
Right, exactly. Are you in the suburbs? Are
you in the
city? Are you in a farm? Like what are you?
I wish I could be on there and be like, it could be true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Right. I mean, like I said, does that mean that you're just doing zero? Do I think there's probably a lot less guys doing that? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And that has to do with the internet.
Yeah.
And links to you know what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That it's not just the women's fault. Sabina coaching for what to help people. Just lost my place. For the most part, they tell me some things, but you can't see all the pills in the medicine cabinet, Rob. All right, not really. It's what I see in the world today. What's up, Sabina? Like, to me, Kevin Samuels, he's like he's a cool character. Right? Have you ever seen Kevin Samuels?
You were talking a little bit about it.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Yeah.
He's fly, man. He reminds me like a Jamie Foxx or someone. He's got a persona. Yeah. He's a cool dude. And he's got what he's about. And the one thing I'd say though is he's these people that he gets that are callers, it kind of reminds me of talk shows.
Yeah.
Where like I remember when I used to watch well, I didn't watch them regularly, but I'd come home and my mom or my sister might have one on or something like Dr. Phil.
Like those daytime.
Or Maury Povich.
Yeah.
Maury Povich or Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
In high school, that was big, man. Right? Like a lot of people watch that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you were in school,
But I would think, I would
yeah.
always think like, where do they get these people making fools out of themselves?
Yeah.
Like, because to me, it's like, do they know that they're walking into being made look stupid? I didn't say the grammar correct on that. Like, a guy comes on, and there's got to be a paternity test. Like like Kevin Samuels is having some of these women on, and I'm like, he's just walking them down the aisle of shame.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone can see it coming, but can they?
What is it, the Dunning-Kruger, where you think, you're smart and you don't realize, like,
yeah, it's just like, and I'm like, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but I wouldn't say that that's a depiction of, how all women are right now in the States. Because a woman that's got her shit together, that's got a good job and stuff, wouldn't even go on one of those shows.
No.
You just looked at you're like, no.
No.
They wouldn't even be invited because it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good entertainment.
It wouldn't be entertaining at all.
And with people, it's easy. Just look at the eyes and the way they dress. Insanity is easy to recognize these days. Okay, never heard of it, but it sounds nuts. Okay, Derek D. Because Derek D, I think you said you watch Fresh and Fit. It's not that 15% are sexually active. It's that the top 50% are bagging the youngest, hottest women. Hasn't it always been that way? That's the 80-20 principle. And what's the point of making that a point, To say that it's not fair? But I know what you're saying, Derek D, but that's not what is said. I got to pull up the clip because I've heard the guy say it more than once. I've heard him say it more than once. Are you keeping up with the finals? I watched the highlights. I'm happy that there's going to be a small market team that wins it all. I mean, I think, and both the teams are legit, Skinner. They're both good teams. Like, they're both not. They didn't get lucky. They're both good, and people like J. Rue Holiday and PJ Tucker, Jay Crowder, I root for those guys. So either one of those teams that wins, I'll be happy for him. I've always not liked Chris Paul, but I respect what he's done.
He's been at it a long time.
Okay, so Derek D says, most women want men making $100K annually in America. 10% of people, men, women, make over $100K. Well, what's the answer to that? What's the alternative to making $100K, Derek D? So if you don't make $100K, is there an alternative to pulling good women?
And that also depends on where you are in the world too. Or
yeah, what city you're in. Yeah,
like my friend,
if you're in an Oklahoma farm town, I don't think it matters.
No.
But I would say though, what's the just out of curiosity, instead of saying like, oh God, all these women just want $100 grand. They're just gonna,
yeah.
This is ridiculous. It's like, what's the alternative then? How could, if you don't make $100 grand a year, how could you level up and maybe improve your value?
Yeah.
Is there an alternative? What do you think it is, P?
I don't know.
So if a majority of women in the States, which we are, as Americans, it's money, money, money. Are there exceptions to that rule? Yeah. You're not going to find them at nightclubs.
No.
You're not going to find them at Saks Fifth Avenue. And one of Kevin Samuels' videos, he's like, it's a great place to meet women is Saks Fifth Avenue. I was like, okay.
A certain type, yeah.
All right, man. Sure. Go for it, bro.
Meeting women, that share the same interests.
Yeah, I mean, so what would be the alternative, though? Everyone on here. What would be, if most women like $100K annually, and that makes a guy more attractive for long term, right? Then what would be the alternative that a woman would go, this guy makes $100K, but Derek D doesn't make $100K, but I'm more attracted to him. Is that possible? Hell yeah. What would be? Number one, maybe you take care of your body.
Yeah.
You have a good physique. That would outshine you on a lot of guys that are 100K that are a bit overweight. Tell me I'm wrong on that.
We share the same interests, same hobbies, that kind of thing. Yeah. But is that 100K thing one of those things where that's what just women say that they want, and then a lot of times they'll be with a guy that has 100K and they're still not happy and whatever? Or, you know,
I think it's just part of popular culture right now to be in love with being rich.
Right.
It's just thrown everywhere. It's thrown everywhere as the end all. And so, I mean,
And it's
yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have a rich girlfriend? I guess. But actually, I've dated women that are rich and they're annoying.
high maintenance or
no, they're not. I mean, it's not just that. They're just not down to earth. Would be one way to put it. Which I consider myself that way, and I just
pretty grounded.
Yeah, I just and the things that they get upset about, or yeah, most of the time. I'm not saying that none of them are not
let's not
good.
generalize here.
That's good to generalize. Police out. Derek, why they don't make 100K themselves? My whole point is okay. I'm with you, but what's the alternative? What are some answers to overcome some of these things? Right? I don't think it's as simple as saying all these things. That being said, I haven't been in the environments these people are complaining about. It's been a minute since I've been digging out the sweet, watery guts until they bust. I don't even know what that means. Thanks, LenderTube. Running after people with money, they have to be able to offer great skills then. Fresh and Fit makes men aware of it so that they can elevate themselves to that level so they have means of navigating female hypergamy. Okay.
So at least they know what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. Sabina says change environment. Skinner said I was thinking Maury Povich. Rob says in big cities it means more. I agree. You know what? To be honest, to be completely honest, I don't know. Because I do think it's city to city, area to area. I think dynamics are different in different places. I think that what's attractive in one area, it's like I remember when I went from my middle school to my high school, totally different demographic. People dressed different, people acted different. It was on another side of town. It was totally different. And so what was what was cool, what was not, like it was different. It's like that with cities too.
Like where we're from, like 100K living in the Bay Area and a lot of places.
It's not even that much. Yeah.
So that number can.
But people that make that much money, they spend in
housing, all that kind of stuff. I mean
I've thought about it before, like. One of the greatest things you could do when you break up is to move to a tropical beach like myself.
Yeah.
I don't like, a lot of people like to like rub it in and be like, look at me, I'm on like I've done some videos on my channel on the beach and some different things and people are like, oh, maybe you do. It's like, what do you want me to say?
Right.
Move here?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. Yeah, I live have you seen the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio? I live about, I don't know, a jet boat ride away. So it's like, that's what came from my breakup. No regrets. Sean James wrote the book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Okay. Did you read the book? It can happen according to Sean. So what? All right. So if you don't have finance, let's talk about this real quick, Rob, because I got a little juice right now. We're an hour and 18 minutes in, 15 people on deck, 7 likes. If you want to throw a donation, it is appreciated. If not, it's all good. But so what would it be? Right off the bat would be in good shape, right?
I think that would be
number one.
High up there for sure. Yeah.
That would counter it, right? I would say that. And right now, I think more than ever before, it's possible because working out, you have YouTube, you have the gym.
Oh, yeah.
You have virtual trainers. You have, like
At home stuff you could do easy.
you have everything about eating healthy is online. So it's like it's never been easier than now to be in good shape. So that would be number one. Right? You don't have a lot of finances, but you got a good physique. There's some women that go, yeah, you. Right? Anything else? Anything else, Rob, we can throw in there? Because I agree. Now, you might not be able to be a long-term option if that woman wants security and you're kind of like job to job, but you're some dude that looks good, right?
Yeah.
I would add the ability to have some charm. I would add maybe reading some things about attraction that Rob always references, just to understand attraction dynamics. I remember there was one client in Baltimore, actually, Derek D, because he's from Baltimore, I believe. And she was describing this guy she fell for, and she was like, he wasn't even good looking. He wasn't,
Right.
But when she told me about when they first met, he knew it. He just knew how to be. He just knew attraction. Probably doesn't even know it. Like he took control of the situation when he talked to her. He leaned in. Like all these things that he did, you could tell she was just like, I was just attracted to him right away. But he wasn't great looking, and he didn't have a very good job.
Right.
And he didn't have a lot of money. So there's other things that can be done, for sure. I saw those 5 feet looking for 6 feet guys. Yeah, that's a big one. People talk about being 6 foot. Yeah, they talk about it a lot. I'm 6 foot, so I always feel like thanks.
Right there. I made it.
Yeah, I made it. I made it by the skin of my teeth. I remember like going in for a like physical, and the nurse is like, "Oh, I'll tell you like 6 feet," and she's like, "Really, you're 6 feet?" And then you stand up straight. Okay, yeah, you're 6 feet. It's a special. What are you, 5'11" or 6 feet?
About 5'11". I didn't make it. I didn't make it.
In big cities, it means more. You need 100K to almost survive here in a decent place where I'm from. Yes, men in the manosphere also have content geared towards improving your status physically and financially. I do think it's wrong for a woman to want a man. Kevin, welcome. I do not think it's wrong for a woman to want a man who is responsible and a good provider, but that should not be the only criteria a person looks at. No. You should want to build with someone. You know what I would say to that? It's up to them. This is a way to reframe it, Kevin. And this is what's happened with the internet. And this is not like a shot at you. This is just something I've realized from doing coaching for a long time and talking to so many different people. We all want to go, well, you shouldn't be this way. That's not good. That's bad. So what? Someone wants to just go for money. You know what? They probably grew up really poor. They probably listened to a certain kind of content that skews them that way. And you know what your job is to filter better, Kevin. It's better for you to just go, instead of going, people shouldn't think this way. Go, as soon as I meet someone that thinks this way, you know what? Good luck.
And move on.
Yeah. And I think right now everyone's going, hey, look at this person. They're bad morally.
You need to be a certain way.
Hey, they're really bad morally. You know what I noticed being a big sports fan? You're a big sports fan. I've kind of dialed it back from sports the last few years, but I still love basketball. The amount of analysts online right now is ridiculous. Right? And they're all going like, I think this, I think that. Now you got guys that just put together a YouTube channel and are like putting together draft boards and different things. It's not that difficult to just give your opinion. I could do it.
Yeah.
I could tell you who I think is going to go in the NBA draft, all these different things. I'm a breakup coach. I got an opinion with breakups and all these different things. The bottom line is people need to find out what their philosophy is, what their morals or values are, and then go, okay, if someone else doesn't line up with that, say la vie.
See ya.
Right? It's, and right now a lot of people are going, look, I saw one. bad person, bad values, gold digger.
Because that elevates their status among the other people that are doing the same thing.
Well, the problem is like you're whistleblowing, right? You're like, oh, look at all these bad catches. Look at all these bad catches. Why don't you start filtering for good ones? Like, where would you meet good quality women as opposed to talking about how bad a lot of women are?
Right. Put your effort into that.
Right. That would be the alternative. Right. But that doesn't make for good content because right now even we like controversy.
It's not the provocative thing.
We like someone being made a fool of someone, juicy. Right? Many short women constantly talk about wanting a 6-foot man. I don't mind a short woman. That's psychological issue. They are small and need protector. No money really isn't the aim. Personality, sense of humor, hardworking, good conversation are more important. Says MC. Who's a strong, independent, confident woman herself, correct? My criteria: cute, intelligent, not annoying. Why would you say not annoying? Have you had an annoying girlfriend before? I don't think I've ever dated someone long term where
and
I'm
like, she's annoying, but I still want to.
Yeah, I still want to hang out with her. I think that just is a prerequisite for everyone, right? Yeah. Who wants to hang out with anyone that's annoying? Cute, intelligent, and I like that. Well, just stop at cute and intelligent and you'll line them up, bud. Where is it? $100K in the Bay won't get you much.
No.
Well, that's why I don't live there. Yeah, my friend just moved out of the Bay Area. He just was like, man, it changed, man. It changed. He said there's a lot of North Face vest.
Oh, really?
You know the look with the North Face, the vest?
Yeah, like the little...
Patagonia.
Yeah.
Tech wear.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that like popular with the tech crowd, right?
He's like a lot of Patagonias going around, right? I was just like, I know exactly what you mean, right?
In the Bay.
Tailored Patagonia vest. It's funny. It's like, it's changed, dude. It's changed. Derek D says, females say money doesn't matter, but they will not say with a man that makes less than them that they have to financially support over a long period of time. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. I'll just say this. I've known relationships where the guy makes less money, and he's not a beta or anything like that.
She could be a dominant type too, you know, like.
Well, no, it
depends on situations.
There's certain like I know someone that's a doctor, went to Harvard. And her husband stays at home, and he's a good cook. And she's happy. She's okay with it, as far as I know.
I mean, they both could be happy, and that's just the way it works.
Right? Because she's happy with her job. So, it can work. It can. But would be curious about that kind of when you look at the opposite, where did that guy meet her? And what's he about that he's able to counter that?
Right. What does he bring in?
Yeah.
Right.
Because isn't it true, Derek D? Isn't there some guys out there that use women for money? Oh, yeah. That manipulate women for money? Oh, yeah. They're called pimps, right?
Pimps.
MC says, I'd rather date someone who makes $99K and is fit than someone who makes $100K and is fat. Well, that's only $1,000 difference.
All right, what is it? What if it's $50K?
Right. I think it definitely changes if you're going to have a family, probably, right? Because that's a lot of stress. And I think what gets lost in this is if someone comes from a poor family. So if they think that, I think that if they're going to have to take care of their relatives or they've experienced a poor lifestyle for a very long time, then that's definitely going to be on their radar.
Something that they're trying to separate themselves from.
It's not that they're just a bad person or something like that. The theory is that without the finance, you aim toward the fundamental core subconscious attraction points. Now, does that always work? No. Sometimes it does, though. It doesn't, though. So if two people are at a lower financial level of income, this may apply more readily. Says the great Rob IS. Knowing attraction is severely underrated. I'm just under 6 foot, but I have all the other sixes. Go for you. You have a size foot 6? Almost 6 feet tall, but I am female. I'm 6'3". Derek D wins the battle. All right. He's a real Trojan. Derek, are 5 foot girls after you? Go Bucks, fear the deer. I like that. This is not annoying. Apparently 14.5% of men in America are 6 foot. I'm sure that's changed by a bit since the study was from 2012.
Yeah, maybe.
Sabina, all women are short to me except my mom. She was 6'4". Wow,
6'4"?
man.
Wow.
Jeez. Hope she played hoops. Here we wear Helly Hansen. Wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. Petty Betty comes on to represent. Petty Betty drops a money does matter. What's up, Mac Daddy? I'm 5'2". LOL. Never wanted a 6 foot tall man. That's way too tall for me.
Well, that's a big range, too.
I've had a couple girlfriends that are 5'2", so doesn't bother me none. Which size 6s are we talking about here? I wear a size 10 shoe. He wanted to clarify that right away. Hey, hold up. I'm not a size 6 foot.
Yeah.
Send me a picture of your hands too, Rob. We got to clarify this immediately. Not too tall when you're up against the wall. Johanna Samuelson, Sweden's finest. How are you? We did a live coaching session last week. I think it went really well. I hope you're feeling better.
Johanna.
But she said it's okay to say Johanna.
Okay.
But Johanna. Rob and size. Wow. Scanner says, what team does B like? What do you like, Bucks or Suns?
Suns.
Yeah.
Suns.
He's got family in Zona.
Family.
Yeah,
family.
in Arizona, so kind of have to go with that. Well, crying's okay, Johanna. It's releasing feelings. Did the hypnotherapy recording I made for you help? We did a hypnotherapy at the end. B's got to try that. We got to get you. We got to get you crying. Half the people cry at the end. They go, "Oh, wow! I didn't mean to do that."
It just happens.
Sometimes. Yes, it actually did. It actually did. Yeah, that was my intention. Good.
Well, sometimes you don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
It's just. I think it's one of those things you don't know.
Yeah, I just had a client a couple of days ago that's come back to me a few times. I'm like, you want to try hypnotherapy? She goes, Mac, I'm a bit apprehensive about that.
That's what I mean.
And I said, no problem.
Yeah.
I said, okay, no problem. I'm a bit apprehensive about hypnosis. I said, okay. But it works. It helps. It's an alternative from talking about it over and over again. It's an alternative to... I think talking about it, I think your story's good, but then you get to a point when you start repeating yourself a lot, or you're going over stuff that you know is bad for you. Something's wrong in the program, and so getting in there and doing some deeper work,
right?
It helps.
It's another avenue.
I wouldn't offer it or do it if I hadn't done it myself before. Right. So I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, try this. I've never done it before. You first, Mac. Right?
Right.
I can buy you drinks and cook us a good dinner in my efficiency apartment. Wow, that sounds really exciting. Are you going to use your microwave? Get ready for those 5s, baby. What does that mean, 5s?
Those 5s.
I had to listen to the recording of our call. I tend to forget. He isn't a good boyfriend, and I put him on a pedestal still, but then I listen and be like, nah, Mac, Said he isn't. Ha ha.
Mm.
Any closing questions? Any topics you want to go over in the next few days, folks? I'm going to do my best to be on deck tomorrow. I do have an early coaching call. The 5-5-5 rule. Lower the bar, ladies. I don't even know what the 5-5-5 rule is.
Mm.
It's funny because living in Thailand, 5-5-5 means ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Because ha is 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are the books you recommend for women to read? I'm asked this a lot. That's interesting because you know what? When people ask me, I do have more books for men than I do for women. Will Miss Nova Scotia ever return? That's funny. That's Jessica.
Oh, okay.
She's back in town. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
want to see her on camera at some point, huh? I'm working on getting this live stream with multiple cameras and really spicing things up here.
We'll set it. We're gonna set it.
Yeah. B's helping out. Danny's on deck.
Mm-hmm.
I've got other people that have offered to help that are out of work right now that are like, how can we get this going? I got the Russians that just texted me that originally sold me this gear.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said maybe you can come by tomorrow, and we're going to try to spice this up so we can we can get some other people on.
Jessica for sure.
Oh, yeah. You like Jessica, huh, D? Miss Nova Scotia. Tell them to find the God and not a man. That's deep.
Mm.
The guy is 5 foot. I don't even know if there's many of those around. Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia. Eh? We was over in Nova Scotia on the beach. Eh? And Jessica will go, eh? Yeah. She's got some dating app stories that are pretty funny.
Yeah.
Been to Nova Scotia many times. Well, you can send me your pictures because I probably won't go. No one talks like that there. I know.
You piss some people off.
No one says A. That's a myth. No, she actually does say A.
Yeah,
she
does.
says A. She does say A for sure.
Maybe not all the time.
Yeah,
She throws it in there.
Yeah, she says A for sure. I've heard her say it. Canadians you guys have your own little subculture. You got some things about you guys that are a little different, I think. Or, I mean, it's depending on the area you're from, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's different. But very kind people, very nice people, very down to earth, I would say. I would say Canadians, in my experience, and New Zealanders are probably like the most down to earth, laid back, chill.
New Zealand for sure.
New Zealanders, yeah, Kiwis. Maybe in the big cities they don't, Rob says. No, for sure. Like I said, she does say A. All right, folks, it's an hour and 38 minutes. I'm going to get my lunch. It's been a pleasure. It's curtains. Have a good day.